Welcome back, where we want to look at wealth and job creation in Nigeria. Nigeria needs to create 25 million jobs if you spread across it, say in 10 years. And looking at what is happening, how do we halt unemployment in this country? Well, today we have a guest in the studios. We have David Olutobi. He's a coordinator of Self-Empowerment Initiative. David, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
When we say wealth and job creation in Nigeria, tell us what you think your thoughts are. We want to know your thoughts concerning it.
Well, talking about wealth creation, talking about job creation as a people, as a country, it is not just the duty of some segment of people alone. It's not just the duty of people in power alone. It is a collective responsibility. We have a collective responsibility to creating jobs, to job creation. It is an avenue through which we can create opportunities, enabling environment for youth to thrive, for people to initiate their ideas and initiative that can reprocreate into wealth.
Okay, I know that you are a farmer, and I want to ask you what motivated or prompted you to go into farming, and when did you start actually?
Well, it was about 18 years ago. That was about 13 years ago, in 2005, when I saw the trend of what is happening in our country. I was privileged to work in a fisheries company, and I discovered that most of the things we have in the frozen warehouse, most of the things we have in our warehouse in the rice sector, they are all imported. We have fishes imported from Norway, we have rice imported from Thailand. And I said to myself, what are we doing? What are we creating? And when the inflation started about in the area of Babangida, that was in 1983-85, when the inflation started, a lot of things, my father was being affected, and I began to look at a lot of things. I told myself, we have to just go back to our heritage. And our heritage is what we have. The enabling environment, the climatic condition, the land, the resources. I said to myself, if my own father can train me out of school when he had some clash with what he just got from the produce of the farm, then there is something in the land, there is something on the farm, and that was what prompted me in 13 years ago. And I left what I was doing. I said I was going back to the farm, although it was a ridicule. People were laughing at me that what are you leaving Lagos to go into the farm to doing? But today, so many of them are coming along with us. It does not just start.
Sorry to cut you short. In terms of job creation, talking about the youth, especially in Nigeria, before you go into a job creation, there are certain things that you look at. But first, let's talk about the lucrative aspect of it. Is there anything such as a lucrative job and a non-lucrative job?
There is nothing like, to me, in my own definition, there is no job that is not lucrative, and there is no job that is most lucrative. It depends on your utility, how you utilize your resources, how you utilize your opportunities. You might be getting so much and you are not utilizing so much, then it will not be lucrative. You might be getting so little and you are utilizing so much, it becomes very lucrative. So even in the agricultural sector, some people say that it's a sector that you have to wait for a long time. We are in a kind of economy that even the youths, every one of us, are so money conscious. Yes, money is very important, money is needed, but if you don't have a product to sell and you need money, you will end in frustration.
So how did you start? I need to know, leaving secondary school, I guess, and going into farming. I know that there might be some challenges, but before the challenges, how did you start?
Well, I started up with a passion and a burden to see people live a good life. I started up with a passion to see youth have jobs. And when I first launched out, I was motivated by some of the research I did. I went to Cairo, the biggest pig pen, biggest pig range in Africa. is resident here in Lagos, in Enquiry in Nigeria. I saw the output of what people were doing. I did some little research, and I went on a training. I worked in farms. I worked with farmers. I got some little knowledge, gathered some little knowledge here and there. And in starting up, there was no capital to start with. And we started off by doing trainings, sensitizing the youth with a program we called Idea Zone on Unilag and later to Now FM. We were doing this program, you know, getting some little resources, and by the virtue of this program, we were able to raise little funds, and we sorted for where to start, and we could not get an available land because of the cost in Lagos. We had to go to somewhere in Yewa South in Ogun State, and we started on just 3 acres of land. And today we have spread to over 10 acres, managing farms for even big farmers.
Wow, so that's a good achievement, though. Okay, coming back to, you talked about Unilag, and let's go into the schooling. Right now in Nigeria, when students graduates will go out there looking for jobs with their CVs and all of that. And we have a normal youth who did not even go to school, you know, is being entrepreneurial by himself, being going into farming, agriculture, into other things, and making a very good living for himself, while a graduate still stays years after his graduation and no job and still broke, still in the house. I want you to weigh these things. How has education in Nigeria impacted on the creation of jobs?
Well, I will start by saying we have to break some edge. We have been boxed. The Nigerian institution is not preparing our graduates to be creators, to be inventors, to be entrepreneurs. We have been conditioned with the mentality of just get a certificate, go cut for a job. In fact, even after graduation, you see flyers being given to graduates in the camp that come for trainings, get training on how to write its CV, how to present yourself. So we have not been trained. We have not been given the mentality to become creators, to become inventors. The difference between the man that went through formal education and the man that does not have a formal education but is an entrepreneur and doing well is just the mentality of I can.
So are you saying that people, youths that went to school, graduated, don't have the mentality of I can?
They do, but one of the things that is limiting us is pride. Pride. People don't want to start small. People don't want to do the menial job. But you can do a menial job even if you are not getting the white-collar job that you desire to at the moment. You can do a menial job. You can engage yourself in things that might not be worth it to you. But through that, you can get resources together that can make you to start something. But before starting, you have to have a vision of what you want to do. An entrepreneur is someone that is ready to create a project, a venture, that is ready to launch out, to take a risk with the aim of making profit. You have to find that area of need. In Nigeria, you can't even produce enough for people to eat. And a lot of our heritage are going down the stream, like the sugar company in Kwara State was doing well about some years ago in 1910. It was doing well, but it was being shut down. And a lot of youth there were complaining that this is our hope, this is what we have. We were thinking of getting jobs. But presently, most of them have taken into Okada riding because the enabling environment has been battered.
Okay, so looking at all of these things, you're talking about entrepreneurship. Some people have defined entrepreneurship as someone trying to solve a problem in the community using entrepreneurship skills. Looking at those skills, how can we start as a government? From what end do you think the government needs to start from?
Well, like I said, that wealth creation, job creation, economic development is the duty of all. On the part of the government, they just have to help us to create the enabling environment. Like I don't advocate for a government or an organization to give my present day youth money. I don't advocate for that, but I advocate that you should create the enabling environment. We have a lot of, we can decongest Lagos State, we can decongest Port Harcourt, we can decongest Abuja, we can decongest the developed states in Nigeria by creating opportunities, same opportunities, or perhaps starting in the area of agriculture in rural settings. Like in my own place, we have a lot of fallow grounds, we have a lot of fallow lands.
But that, is it expensive?
They are not.
Okay.
They are not expensive. In fact, most of these communities will be very happy, like where we are presently, they are very happy giving us land for outright purchase for a very minimal price.
How do people pay? Someone that is not employed, someone that wants to start doing something, it's not working. How do you think this person will be able to pay even if it's not, the money is not a lot of it? How do you think? That's why I'm asking you about government involvement in this.
That is where the enablement comes in. The government can give out a fund that will be managed, that will be properly managed. And the youth, we are advocating that the youth should be given acres of land through these fundings that will be managed by probably the government agencies, ranging from the state to the government to the local government, and let these youth be on the field. Let them be given resources in terms of seedlings, in terms of tractors, in terms of the landed areas to cultivate on, and at the end of the day, the resources will go back to the government in percentage on profit, and this youth will also have a very good percentage for their wages through the period of cultivation or rearing or processing, as it may be.
Okay, in terms of agriculture, how would you say agriculture is faring now in Nigeria as a means of job creation?
Well,
in that field?
Well, we at the moment we are supposed to have harnessed so much in this area, but we have not started.
We have not started?
We have not started. Nigeria is the highest producer of cassava, but yet we have not produced enough.
Why?
We have not saturated even the local markets with our highest production, as we call it. We have not saturated even the local markets. Cassava is not just a produce for food. It is being used now as raw materials. Somewhere in Australia, they use our cassavas as a raw materials to do these sleek products. The sleek suit product, when you see this shiny sleek product, it is a produce of cassava. Ethanol is a produce of cassava. Cassava is in a very high demand, and yet we are not producing enough. In the area of like the sugar I cited, Nigeria is only producing 2% of the sugar we need, both for domestic and the sugar, the domestic and the cube sugar we are consuming. We are only producing 2% of what we need, and we are importing 98% of the needed sugar we need. So by all this, we are going to suffer a lot of unemployment. The Bao purchased the sugar factory in Kwara State, and up till now, the machineries have not been brought in. Up till now, they should have planted over 400 hectares of sugar cane for the processing. But these things have not been done. There are a lot of things. You see, that's why in our organization, we don't only tell the youth, we take them through orientations to condition their mind. But because when we started, we discovered that our problem is not just in our pros. Our problem is a mental problem.
Okay.
So how do we change? That's what we're going to look at your organization, what you do, getting the youth involved. How do we change their mind towards agriculture, not seeing themselves you know, with the white-collar jobs. How do we take their minds away from white-collar jobs and bringing them into agriculture? What do you do during your training?
Well, what we do during our training majorly, like we'll be having a program, a seminar. It's a seminar, a mobile seminar. We'll have it all around in different locations. Like the one we'll be having is in Saturday in a location in Lagos. We take them through a mental reorientation. Can
we have a view about that? Can you tell us about that? How?
Like the one we are doing on Saturday is we're telling them you can make a difference. You can launch out in a different direction. You can set a goal for yourself and achieve it. Now, during this period, after the program, we also give them a follow-up for an orientation course for people, and all these are free. For people that will want to come into the area of agriculture, we want to admit, by the special grace of God, with our present capacity, we want to admit 100 youths.
Is it for free?
The admission is for free, but the program, if they are going to be coming and going, is free. But if they are going to stay in the location, they are just going to pay for their transportation logistics from the farm and to their residence and the residential fee.
Aside that, what else will you be training them on?
We are going to be taking them on intensive mechanized agriculture. Agriculture now is not farming. It's not peasants. We are going to take them through training on various aspects as they will be keen to. Because to some, they will tell you, I love animal husbandry, I love training pets. To some, they will just tell you, I love cultivating, I love seeing greens. To some, they will say, I don't want to go through the hustle of planting and rearing and waiting for 6 months, for 1 year. I just want to go into processing. So it is a wide range. It depends on where they are going to. But the first thing we are doing is to give them an orientation and the lucrativity in the business.
Okay, like you said, taking a cue from what you just explained, when you talk to a graduate, a normal youth, an average Nigerian youth, and say, okay, there's money in agriculture, there's lucrativity in agriculture, go into agriculture and you might find a future in it. The first thing that comes to your mind, that comes to a youth mind is, okay, nah, it's farming, nah, it's the ground, it's, you know, all of that. That's orientation, that's what they have in mind. Meanwhile, they are really rich moguls gaining from this.
Yes.
And that is because I know for agriculture, it's a chain from the production, the administration, and all of that. Can you give us an overview of these different parts of agriculture which I can venture into?
Well, you started by saying what is a reaction of a normal average Nigerian youth. Before now, the reaction is like agriculture. As in, it sounds strange, as if it's not what our forefathers had been practicing before the emergence of crude. But presently, the appreciation is growing. People are coming massively from the different locations, mostly in Lagos where I left, and the people that have known how we started, they have come, you know, many people have, some that have the capacity have purchased land. And talking about the different areas of agriculture, agriculture is a very wide range, ranging from the vegetables, ranging for the perennial crops, ranging from the tubers, the cereals. They are of different range. And you have the cash crop, which most Nigerians might not want to go into now, that will take about 3 years, but the result at the end of 3 years, if you can do like 5 to 10 acres, or at least 2 to 3 acres, you will be in what I call oil money.
Okay, I will come back to you, but we must go on this break. When we come back, I want you to tell me, if I start, say, I want to start farming, and I don't want to keep too long, say 3 years, to get the results. You know, I want to just see that within that year I start making progress with what I'm doing. I start making monies from it. When we come back, you tell us that. But we'll go on this break now, and when we come back, we want to find out what time will it take you to start making monies from your farmland. We'll be right back.
Super Dawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. Before we went on that break, I said I was asking the guests, what time will it take one to plant and begin to make monies from it? How long?
Well, to make it very appreciating, we are not starting with starters with a long-term cultivation or a project. We are starting up with a project that you can get your money back in, say, from the second month of plantation.
No, I'm not talking about your project. I'm talking about if I want to go
That's
into
what
farming.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
If I want to go into farming.
If you want to go into farming, let me direct it to you.
Yeah.
If you want to go into farming, I would advise that you go into vegetables.
Okay.
That you go into things like pepper, tomato, the okra, that you can also do not in the normal season so that you get more appreciation for your produce. You do it in the dry season starting from September.
Okay.
The people that are coming around will say, just wait till the next dry season. So that when we do the clearing from September, as soon as we see the regular shining of the sun, we start doing the bush clearing. After the bush clearing, we do the burning, we do the raking and all that. Then from November, December, we started planting.
So when will I reap?
But this is with the aid of irrigation. I know that the reaping is where...
It's the reaping that is the main thing.
The reaping is essential. When we plant in December, from January ending to February, we start harvesting and you start having sales. And at that point in time, I tell you, it is very lucrative because we have a lot of market women that are ready to buy and there are no grains in the market. But with the introduction of our irrigation system with our water guns now that is presently available that can wet 2 hectares of land to saturation in less than 2 hours.
Maybe I should have asked, how much will that cost me to start?
Well,
how much will it cost to start farming in a very small scale? Because the youth out there, you know, they don't have a lot of monies, and so they want to start something. So how much do you think someone can really start averagely?
For someone like you, I would say on the average, you can start with 150 to 200,000 naira.
Not like me. You just live
I'm categorizing it.
We're trying to help people out there. We're trying to help out there. Someone that you just left school and you want to go into farming. You don't want to wait for employment. Someone is telling you, I'll employ you today, and you're just waiting at home doing nothing. What can you actually start with?
We have a program for this September for the youths, for the unemployed youths. And we are going to allocate an acre of land to 6 people. That's in a division of 1 plot per acre. So in that division, we are going to allocate it to them. They are going to be cultivating, and we are going to be also training them. So in the course of that training, whatsoever they are making, it's going to go back to them at a 70% return. Okay, but they will pay a sum of 65,000 naira to aid their housing and yes.
Okay, but for those that don't have the money to, regardless if it's 20,000 naira, even if it's 10,000 naira, for those that don't have the money to start an agricultural business or venture into agriculture, are there any ways or mediums they can access loans to fund themselves?
Well, there is no bank that will give a loan to a youth that has no collateral, or an unemployed person that does not have a collateral or a CFO to a landed property. So what we are advocating is that the role of individuals, the role of corporate and religious organizations and the government, to individuals that have the capacity, we are advocating that you can invest. We are not calling you as philanthropists. We are not telling you to be free donors. Just invest on behalf. Yes, in partnership. Just invest on behalf of these people, and those that don't have money will see the capacity. Like if Vera can give us $1 million naira, we'll say, okay, give us 5 youths. If you can give us 2 million naira, we'll say, okay, give us 10 youths. You are working, well paid.
So we can actually.
Yes.
In rounding off, we are rounding off now. What you're saying is, individuals can help.
Individuals. That is the rule.
You can partner with this youth instead of allowing them to do many jobs, or instead of allowing them going into some vices. You can actually be part of their lives. And finally, what word do you have for the youth out there, for the government, and for individuals as well?
Well, to the youths, I just want to tell us, that we should believe in ourselves, we should believe in our country. It is going to work out, it is going to be glorious again. At the end of the tunnel, we will see light again. To the individuals, I just want to say to us, let us put an end to selfishness, let us put an end to greed, let us live a selfless life, let us be an extension of job creation in the lives of the youth. To the corporate and religious organization, I want to say, let us utilize our resources, let us create our own world and let it be better. To the governments, the superpower, we are saying you can help us have a good life. We are not lazy, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, David Olutobi, the coordinator self-employment initiative. Thank you for coming, and keep doing the good work.
Thank you very much.
Keep training people. It will help all of us. Well, that's where we end this segment. Up next, we want to look at democracy, corruption, and the rule of law. Please